Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia and Diva Cat.
Well, hello. Today we're going to be discussing oral sex. Kat, what do you think about that?
Oh, that sounds so fun. I'm ready.
Well, let's talk about oral sex with a man first. So like a woman going down, as you will, with a man. There's so many podcasts out there right now with men talking about how they need to have blowjobs more often. They need women to go down on them more often. So I thought we would discuss it from a woman's perspective so that other people can see how we think as well. So what do you think about giving a blowjob or going down on a man? Do you enjoy it?
I like it.
You like it? Do you enjoy it, though?
I have to say, though, it depends who you're with. But if from my perspective, I do not enjoy it. But my husband likes it. And he loves it. So I do it.
Okay. So how often do you say you do it?
Every time we have sex, we always start with the oral sex.
For him or on you?
Well, he's on me first. But I don't like to do it, but I like getting it. Isn't that sad?
Well, here's some statistics for you. So for men in their 30 to 39 range, 69% of men report having given a woman oral sex, while only 59% of women have. So women are giving oral sex less than men are.
See, I'm at 1% of it.
So almost 70% ladies will give it, and about 60% of women are giving it. So there's a statistic for you. So, and that's from, I believe, Quora. Yeah, it's not as popular as we think.
No, I like giving it. Yep, just because you know your partner like it and to pleasure each other, like the word foreplay, right? So we always started with the oral sex. But tell you the truth, I like getting it more than I like giving it.
Well, I have also run into men that don't like receiving it.
See?
It does happen, just like there are some women that don't like to receive it. And for women, I think it's because, honestly, I think it's because maybe the man doesn't know what she's doing or what he's doing.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes women don't know what they're doing either. So that's what we're going to kind of address today. Hopefully help them along the way. But oral sex is an important part of sex, right?
Definitely. Because that's how we always start. I don't know about others, but I think it's important. You have to start somewhere.
You do. It's foreplay, right?
Right.
So, all right. So let's go on with oral sex on a man. So for me, if a man is not clean down there, if he came out from working out or he's not taking a shower, to me, if it's stinky down there, it's the same for men on women. But if a man is stinky down there, it's not attractive. I can't do it. So, I can. It's just I'm not going to be happy doing it. And then the other thing is if they're really hairy.
Yeah,
and if I get hair in the back of my throat, to me, that's like not a fun thing.
No.
Yeah.
The hair is a no-no.
The hair is a no-no. So I know a lot of women are doing Brazilian, but I have seen a couple men here and there that have shaved it off before if they wanted to have oral sex. So it's kind of fair is fair.
I think the bottom line, I think you have to keep it clean, no?
Yeah, the other thing is hair makes it kind of stinky.
Hair makes it stink. And the hair, especially, you don't know what caught in there. Especially, oh no. Get tangled out. Oh no. No. It has to be clean on both ends, men and women.
Yeah. So a man, just clean it up.
Yeah.
Basically, make sure that it's clean and that you're taking care of business down there. Because women don't want to smell odor down there. Just like I'm sure men don't want to smell odor either.
Same goes with women.
Yeah. But let's keep on the men. So practicing oral sex. Have you ever practiced giving a man oral sex, like with a banana or something?
No.
Never?
I never do it. I never practice it. The first thing I did is just with my partner.
Okay, so some women I know have practiced giving oral sex with a banana, but I'm sure a guy would allow you to practice on him as long as you say, look, I'm new to this. I want to try this out, see if you like it. One of the things that I know from giving oral sex is every guy is different. Every guy likes different things. Like some men will really want you to deep throat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go back and almost swallow the thing whole. Other men like to feel a little bit of teeth. Not a lot of teeth, ladies, believe me. Just like a little.
It's very sensitive.
Like on the tip. Like just feel a little bit of teeth on the tip. Gosh, we're really getting into this today, aren't we?
I I could see your lips moving.
And other men want you to play with their balls, and some men don't.
Balls, yes, but some men don't.
So oral sex, from that perspective, there's different things and different ways that men like it.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna pretend like I actually did watch the porno tape on doing oral sex.
Did you?
Yeah, we both did.
And what did they explain on that video?
They don't explain, they just do it. There's no talking there.
Okay.
Yeah. So you kind of like watching it and see how they do it, and you just tried it out.
It's a little slurpy, isn't it?
Yeah, and you just have to like communicate with your partner.
Yeah.
See how you like it.
And here's the funny thing is sometimes men last and sometimes men
don't.
A minute or two later, they're done.
They're done. They was like, oh no, I'm coming. You know what I mean? And then you don't want that. You want to.
Yeah. And ladies, if you're dating men in the 50 range, you may not want to give oral sex if you're expecting to have intercourse because they might be done for the night.
Oh, that is so true. If men over 50, if you want to keep going, don't start with that.
A woman can have multiple orgasms, but a man...
it takes them a while, especially after 50.
Oh, no, I know.
You have to wait for like next 2 days.
I don't know. No, it's not that bad. It might not be till the next morning, but they're done for a while. Yeah,
they're done for a while, Yeah, so if you want to keep continue, or if you date the men after 50s, don't do the oral sex. Do something else. And, if you're going to go for the intercourse, otherwise you're not going to get there. For us, we have multiple orgasms easily. For men, no.
I have found that the best oral sex you will ever give a man is if you have them talk to you while you're doing it.
Is it really?
And you ask them exactly what they want and exactly how they like it. And if they don't tell you right away, just do something and say, do you enjoy that? And then try something else. And then eventually they will open up and tell you exactly what they want. And then you will be the best oral sex they've ever had.
What if you ask them and they say, surprise me? Then what you do?
I would do something and ask them if they enjoy that. Because the reality is that ladies, men do a lot of stuff to women that we don't like and we just take it. But if we were actually more communicative in bed and told them what we enjoyed, we would find more pleasure too. So I think men find more pleasure. Some men want to actually be bit a little harder than I would bite someone. Some men want to be flicked. Some men want to be licked. Some men want to be sucked. It just depends on the man, right?
I think communication is the key. You have to open communication.
Some men want it fast. Some men want to watch.
That is so
Some men don't want to watch. So,
Here comes the pause.
Yeah, exactly. Some people, they want to see it. Some people don't want to see it.
Yeah, I think communication, like the bedroom talk, I think it's very important.
I think it's important while you're actually, you don't have to ask them every time, ladies, but they're enjoying themselves, but you think they could enjoy themselves more, or you care about their feelings and you want to know. Once or twice, you say, do you enjoy this? And then if you try something new, do you like that? Just be very, expressive and talk to them. And then if they realize that you care more, and I will say most of the men do like to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, like I said, I've been with the same man for 25 years. So at this point, we kind of know what each other like, You just have to pressure each other.
Well, I'm new to the dating scene, and I will say that he just wanted to have sex and then shower.
And shower and done.
Yeah, it was the strangest thing. Yeah.
Huh.
But then another man was like, nonstop. So it was good. Yeah, so it just depends on
I'm learning from you a lot, actually.
It depends on the guy. Depends on the guy. And that's why I also say you need to ask them what they enjoy and how they like it. Because some guys don't really care if you go really deep. They just want you to play with their tip. And other guys want you to swallow the whole shaft thing and everything all together in one swell swoop. And some just want you to keep it deep. And some people want you to go fast, and some want you to go slow. So you just never know exactly what they want. Some want you to play with their balls. Some don't want you to touch their balls.
Yeah.
Some want you to feel above the shaft.
Some very insecure about the shaft too, though.
Yes.
They do.
Well, yes. And we did talk last time about size. Size matters too. I mean, if a guy's too long, you can't swallow the whole thing anyway without the gag reflex. So
that is so true.
And it would be bad if you threw up on a guy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
So Don't swallow
Don't
it too much.
do it. Don't gag and don't throw up on it. That will be like a whole turn off.
Don't go too far into your throat that it
Yeah.
actually forces you to throw up, because that has happened with people in the past.
Oh my God.
Not me, but
I need to start watching all this just to learn.
I'm going to turn you into a porn star.
Yeah. I've been in the hood for way too long.
You've been, now we're learning all kinds of things. Now that we're talking about men and sex, let's talk about kind of some slang terms for men. So everybody knows about going down on a man, giving a blowjob, playing the flute.
Playing the flute, that's new.
Smoking the pole.
That is new.
Suck my dick, or suck me off, or suck my cock, or suck someone else's cock. Suck it all. I mean, suck is kind of defined it all.
Wow, I did not know
There's
there's
all
so many
kinds of
languages of slang
Yeah.
out there.
Blowjob is, I think, a big one.
Yeah.
But I think, like fellatio, some people say, blowjob. I think those are the main, giving head.
Giving head.
Yeah, those are the main.
Chopping up. Look at that.
Slob knob.
Yeah.
Something about a Becky, too. What was that? Oral pleasure, oral stimulation. Those are kind of some of the slang terms that I think people will relate to oral sex.
Knob job. Bill Clinton. That's a good Sorry, Bill.
Bite job. Nibble on me. I mean, I've heard that before. Come nibble on me. So there's different terms that I think you and your partner will probably develop your own slang for, but those are some of the kind of common ones. But I mean, you may have a lot of people will name their private parts. Like, do you have a name for yours?
No.
Oh, I have a name for mine.
You do?
I do. You want to know what it is?
I have a name for my sourdough starter, though.
Do you have a name for his?
Yeah.
What's the name for his? Can you share?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt.
That's the name of his dog, huh? Wow, girl.
I had such a crush on him. I don't know why.
And now you have him in your mouth.
I'm telling you. When we were in Italy, I even do the scene looking for Brad Pitt.
Oh, no.
Yes. I even name anything that needs to be named, I name it Brad Pitt.
Anything that needs to be named is Brad Pitt. So that's pretty hilarious.
I think my husband also knows too that Brad Pitt. Was it BP?
BP? BJ is a BP.
BJ is a BP.
Or BP is a BJ.
Oh my God. Swear to God. When we first moved to Connecticut, there's a grocery store named BJ. I was like, are you serious? Let's go check it out.
Yeah, every time I drive by In-N-Out Burger, you know what I think of.
Yeah. So you want a boost stop, you may never know what happened in In-N-Out parking lot.
You never know.
You never know.
So since we are in a sexting world, there's all kinds of things that you need to learn about texting. I thought everybody kind of knows the eggplant means penis, right?
Peanuts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if you put the tongue picture in front of the eggplant, that means you want to give them oral sex.
All set.
You can. The tongue picture is kind of fun.
Yeah. What about the pointing fingers?
Well, the pointing finger and an okay means you want to have intercourse.
That's
yeah, that's like the old 5-year-old.
Look at the sweat drop.
The sweat drop's more for wet. You're making me wet, or you want to have sex. But it can be, I guess, for orgasm. You could also use a bone for a penis, not just the emoji of the. And I heard grapes is also common for penis.
I thought grape was for the balls.
For the balls. Okay, well, then you could do
bananas,
tongue, purple eggplant, and then the grapes, which means that if a guy sends that to you, that means they want you to give them oral sex and lick their balls.
There's a whole new different language.
It's a whole language. You could even do the drooly face. Yeah.
I learned something new today.
And here's the thing.
What is the rhino for?
The rhino is for, it just means I'm horny. So that's not really oral sex. But you can also do a hot pepper. Okay, that just means you're ready to go. You're hot for them. But I learned that the eggplant is not supposed to be used unless you're well endowed.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's actually other things like the bone, if you have a boner or something like that. But the eggplant is actually for someone that's thick.
Really?
And all these thin little boys are using it. I have a boner and I want it licked. I mean, that's the thing too with the tongue. The tongue emoji is kind of fun because you can use it for all different kinds of things. You can use it for men. You can use it for women. But we'll come back.
You could change all the colors too.
Well, let's just transfer to women. So
Yeah.
since we're talking about texting, let's move on to women texting. So here's one that I was confused in, and it may just be my generation, and I didn't realize. I thought the peach was the woman's vagina.
No, it's a butt.
It's a butt. I
I'm
know.
telling you, don't be sending the butt. They're gonna
think I want anal sex. I know. I had no idea. I thought the peach was.
No, the peach is your bun.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you stick a finger next to the peach, that means you want to stick a finger in your butt.
No,
Yeah.
You have to be careful with that.
Yeah. So for a woman, you can use the tongue with sweat droplets. You can use the tongue with a biting your lip. That means you're ready to go.
What about the drool face?
The drool face. The biggest one is the tongue with the taco. That means you want oral sex. Because the taco is defined as a woman down there too. Every time I hear a man say they like tacos, I'm like, which kind of tacos? Are we talking the pink taco or are you talking to my taco? You know, because pink taco is also defined as.
Oh my God, I would never look at the taco the same way.
Yeah.
Again.
So when you're on dating apps and you see all these men saying, I love tacos, I don't know if they say they're loving tacos because they want to do oral sex on a woman or if they actually truly love tacos.
Truly love tacos.
Yeah. And if they say pink taco, it's definitely they want to eat a taco. It's code. So for ladies that are on the dating sites, if you're seeing men say, I want to eat a pink taco, they're wanting to eat somebody out.
How
Just
about
saying.
a pink hot dog?
That means, okay, so hot dogs is actually anal sex.
Is it is?
Yeah, hot dogs is where you actually stick a penis in a butt.
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah, honey pot can be the vagina or down there, or your kitty cat. Obviously. So you could have a kitty cat with a tongue, but that's kind of weird. Honestly, I think that's weird. But I think the tongue and the honey pot would be fine, or the tongue and the taco.
That's a camel.
You can do the tongue and the camel if you want to, you say, I want to hump you, but I've also seen camels for breath.
For breath.
So you want your boobs licked. So that's another thing. So, or you can do tongue, and you could do tongue with the shower with the taco and a eggplant saying, I want to have oral sex with you in the shower.
What if on the other side, the person who texts misinterpret what you do?
Well, that's an explanation for you and them. But
Yeah.
I mean, these are kind of the things that are out there. If you put a pointy finger and an okay sign, that means you just want to have intercourse. And then if you do
The
eggplant and the peach, that means you want to get down to business. And if you do the clapping hands and the peach, it means you want your butt slapped.
slap.
And then
donut and a banana.
that means you're in the mood for some anal sex.
Anal sex.
The donut is actually
anal.
the chocolate donut. The anal.
I would never look at taco or donut the same way ever again.
Yep, the chocolate donut is anal sex.
Oh my
God. So if you want to play with your partner and you want to do oral, it's the tongue, the taco, and the water droplets. That's oral sex right there.
I should text my husband that he knows what I'm talking about. I'm going to give you a test.
And the tongue, the eggplant, and the water drops is giving someone a
Giving
blowjob.
someone a blowjobs.
So now that we know those and we're up to date, ladies, that's kind of important just because with today's dating,
Peach and the clapping hand.
That's
You
smacking
want- you're
somebody's
smacking
butt.
somebody's butt.
so now that we're up to date with all of the,
How about Peach and the telephone?
that means you want to have phone sex.
Ah.
Or quick sex. Yeah, but now that we're up to date on our emojis, because it's kind of important to know what people are saying. I get sex emojis from different people, or I've gotten them in the past, and I didn't know what people were saying. I knew that it was, sexual, but I really didn't think that the peach was your butt. I thought it was your vagina. Some people refer it to as a vagina, but 90% of the people use it as your butt.
Butt, yeah.
And now we're going to talk about a man going down on a woman. This is probably going to last the longest, really, because I think this is the topic that everybody wants to know about. So it's also known as muff diving. I've heard that a lot. But
Muff diving.
Muff diving. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
You know how you have a muffin top?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like they're diving for muffin. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Yeah. Men are more likely to go down on a woman than a woman to go down on a man, which I was shocked. So we saw 69% of men will go down on a woman.
Yeah.
59% of women go down on men.
Oh, yeah.
I think the biggest reason is it's the best oral sex, right?
Right.
And a lot of women don't get off with regular intercourse, at least with their first. So there was a study, I don't remember when it came out, but they were talking about female orgasms. And a woman needs to have or outside stimulation. And a lot of times oral stimulation doesn't have to be,
Doesn't have to be.
external stimulation first and have an orgasm there before they might even have an internal orgasm. And a lot of women don't even know that.
Oh, wow. I don't.
Yeah. So
See?
you may be having intercourse, ladies, and not having orgasms because you weren't externally stimulated first.
You have to stimulate it first. Massaging underwater first.
Fingering, massaging.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that again. And then there's, there are some people that like a little bit of anal fingers here and there. So you have to remember that genital stimulation is important for women. 70 to 80% of women, require their clitoral stimulation to achieve orgasm. So if men are just going straight for sex and you have a man that does that, maybe you can state this statistic. Now, the stimulation doesn't have to be oral.
That is true.
And it doesn't really matter, ladies, if you're, excited or wet and you want to have sex. If you haven't had external stimulation, you may not have an orgasm at all. And here's my personal belief. I don't know what you think, Kat, but I think a woman should have at least one orgasm every single time you have an intimate encounter.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But this is something new, though, that I learned today.
Really? I told you something.
You did.
Yeah, so
I have to practice.
Well, you let him know that, if you're one of the 80%, and you'll know, ladies, you should know by now that if your bodies need you to be stimulated externally before you get stimulated internally. And that's the thing is if you get an external orgasm, you're much more likely than to have an internal orgasm.
Internal orgasm.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
I've learned something new again today. Thank you, Diva Mia.
You are welcome, Diva Cat. Yeah. So just remember that, ladies. If you're having, if your partner, your husband, your whomever you're dating, if you're just not having good sex, it might very well be that you need more external stimulation, and you're going to need to have an orgasm. Now, for me personally, since I'm oversharing as always. After I have an external stimulation, if the guy goes down on me and I get off, I need 5 to 10, maybe even a minute of a break.
Of a break?
Because my body's like kind of convulsing. So I'm like, okay, just give me a second. Don't touch me. Don't touch me anywhere.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. If I have a good orgasm, I don't want him to touch me anywhere.
You want to keep it with you as long as you did, though.
No, it's like I'm super hypersensitive. Every part of me, my whole body is hypersensitive.
It's like tinkling. Oh, wow.
This may just be me. I thought all women were like this. Tell me how you are, but
no, but I like to curl myself up in my blanket.
After you had one?
Yeah.
For how long?
For 2-3 minutes.
So you're the same. So after your guy goes down on you, and we're hoping that after the show, every guy goes down on their woman. Personally, 70% is not enough.
No.
Because, and that's men just doing it regular or doing it, period. The reality is I personally believe that if a guy's going to go down on you, you should be able to go down on a guy.
Yes.
So we should increase that. But I think every man should go down on every woman, period.
I think bottom line that you have to communicate.
What you want.
You said, what you want. Some women don't want to. Maybe that day you didn't clean up.
Well, that's fine. Go take a shower.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In fact, I think more people should shower before.
Shower before. Regardless, they should be prepared, don't you think? There are so many products out there you could do.
Oh, yeah. There's boric acid that a lot of people are using as suppositories now, like vaginal suppositories. There's different types of pH balancing and odor eliminating suppositories. And most women are full Brazilian now. We don't have hair down there.
You'll be surprised.
Here's the thing, guys. If you're dating a woman that's a Brazilian, she's going to want oral sex, period.
Yeah.
And ladies, if you're dating a guy that's a Brazilian down there and has no hair, that means he wants, that's a good sign.
That's a good sign. Definitely.
Yeah. Because if a woman's shaved down there, she's expecting something to be played with down there, not just wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. You could see, I think you could tell by the shape, the sign, how they take care of their body. If they drop the pen, is all bushy about that? I mean, no.
Yeah, if you're bushy down there, don't expect a guy to go down. I mean, they might, but they can. And here's the thing too. I mean, if you've been married for the last 25 years,
like me, yes,
you may be bushy down there because
some people get slack off, but don't.
And some people actually enjoy the hair.
Really?
Find out, and it's too late for me because I'm lasered, but some people actually enjoy the hair down there. They like the native look, if you will.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Too late for me. I go to ideal image.
Yeah.
As soon as I can.
Yeah, I'm laser done this, so it's too late for me. But I don't like hair in the back of my throat when I go down on a man. So I'm assuming a man doesn't like hair in the back of his throat when he goes down on me.
It would be like you see the hair on your plate.
And it causes for men, it makes an odor down there. And I think for women, it does too. It's just like your beard. When men have a beard and it's untamed and uncared for, their beard has an odor.
It caught on,
Yeah, they get food caught in it. They get all kinds of stuff.
Sweat caught on,
Yeah.
No.
So that's why I think it's so important to keep it clean down there, especially if you're wanting oral sex.
Yeah, like bottom line, if you see a bush down there, you ain't getting it.
For you,
For
there
me,
are some people that may still do that.
To me, if you don't clean it up, you're not getting it.
Yeah. Well, and I have been hearing lately that there's more and more women that are unsatisfied with men because they don't do oral sex.
That I agree.
Here's the thing. If a guy's not doing oral sex for me, I'm not dating that guy.
Because that's how it starts, no?
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I have dated a couple guys that didn't do oral sex, but to me, it's not going to be a relationship because it's so important to my sex life to have that part as well that I want to be in a relationship with a man that didn't.
Yeah, no.
All these men are saying, all these women don't want me. Well, maybe if you are actually better at oral sex, they might.
Maybe you don't know the technique. That's why they don't want it to you. Maybe you hurt them, or maybe
you're too rough.
Maybe you're too rough. I mean, we learn how to please men, and the men should learn how to please women.
I think it is a little bit more complicated for a man, though.
I think so, too, yeah.
I know most women enjoy oral sex. If they're telling you they don't, you may not be doing it right. So if a woman tells a man, hey, I don't like the way you do oral, or I don't like oral sex, they may just not like it with you.
They may have bad experience from the previous partner.
Here's the thing, men, for oral sex, we're going to give you some pointers today, too, if many men are listening. But
I'm sure they are.
So there's different ways to go about oral sex for a man on a woman. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so oral sex is kind of like French kissing the vagina. If you think about it that way, it's like French kissing a vagina with the clit.
With the clit?
Being the person's
look
tongue.
Look at your lip. I agree.
Right?
Yes.
Now, it does get a little different because you're also going to use your fingers inside the person. So you can use your fingers at the same time you're kissing their vagina. But it is very similar to kissing a vagina. Now, some women, just like some men, like to feel a little bit of teeth. They like to be nibbled on. Now, when I say nibble, that doesn't mean bite. Although, I don't know, there might be women that enjoy that too. But a little nibble down there.
Yeah, some women like it. The men, when they were down there, I like it when they play with your little nipple.
Oh, there you go. So playing with the nipples, man, it's quite rough for a man. They're going to have to play with your nipples, stick the fingers in while they're French kissing.
We want a lot. We are divas.
While they're French kissing your clitoris. So it is a little bit rougher on a guy. I'm going to have to give you kudos, men, if you're not practiced at this. But it might be nice if a guy asks a woman what she likes.
Yeah.
Just like we ask men, hey, I enjoy, or what do you like? And they can say, hey, I enjoy it when you nibble on the tip, or hey, I enjoy it when you deep throat, or hey, I enjoy it quicker, or whatever. I'm not a fan of a man taking my head and pushing it down. Not a fan of that.
No.
But I will ask them what they want.
What do you think about body piercing down there then?
Well, a lot of women have their tongues pierced, for women and for men. I mean, there's lesbians that get their tongues pierced because it tickles.
It tickles.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and then there's faster movements for a man. There's slower movements that a man can do for a woman. A man shaking his head, a man humming and vibrating just like a vibrator. The other thing is, men, you can also, if you're not really into the oral sex too much, a man can go down for a little bit and then grab a toy.
That is true.
There's nothing preventing a man from using props, if you will. Because we do realize it takes a little bit longer sometimes for women to get off than a man.
The prop is help.
The prop does help.
I'm all about it.
And at the same time, you actually are able to, get a woman off quicker. And then once you give her 30 seconds to 2 minutes of relief, then you can have intercourse after very easily and possibly get your woman off again via intercourse.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's multiple orgasms.
Wow. If any men are listening to this, your woman's going to be very happy.
Well, here's the thing about talking about sex. I don't think most people are this honest and open, and there's not a trainer's manual out there unless you watch porn, and porn is not real.
Well, porn is not real. Another thing is, you are right. There is no trainer manuals out there.
And
And
a lot of people think they watch porn and they think that women just want it rough. And here's the
Right.
thing. If a guy's too rough with me down there, it turns me off. So you can be rough, but not too rough. And that's why it's best to have communication too. So
Yeah, because some women like it rough, some women like it don't. Some men do the same way too. So you have to have open communication.
You gotta
when you
have
come to the bedroom,
open communication. Yep.
just like everything else,
Yeah.
right?
And it is crucial to relationships. Oral sex is part of sex. I'm shocked that the percentages were actually so low.
Well, ours, culture is very conservative. We don't talk about all this stuff. And then chances are you might find a guy that's very conservative outside, but in the bedroom, that's a whole new story.
Yeah.
So open communication, ladies.
Open
And gentlemen.
communication. Yep.
You got to know what your partner wants. You got to know what you want from your partners. And you got to know what makes you happy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And at this day and age, you got to be happy.
Yes. So let's talk about slang words for going down on a
Going
woman.
down on a woman. I'm like
Giving a woman
this.
a Hummer, going down on her beaver. I've heard that. Have you heard that? Beaver.
Not a beaver.
Eating her taco. Tuna tacos. Quite frankly, though, I don't smell that fishy, so I don't know why they call
Why
it tuna
they call
tacos.
it tuna tacos?
Fur pies. That kind of doesn't work anymore in today's
Mm-mm.
dating. So oral sex is, it can be different slangs for different things. Hummers is a big one because a lot of times when a man goes down on a woman,
Lady boners.
lady boners, yeah, giving her lady a boner. When a man goes down on a woman, then they hum, and that's part of the fun. I mean, that can get a woman off too. So there's
Some come back to the camel emoji.
yeah, so they want to play with that. They want their
Mhm.
tacos eaten, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Dining at the Y, I've heard that, but that I thought was more for men, but I guess it could be either.
I would never look at a taco the same way ever again.
Muff diving, eating
Muff
pussy, we've heard that. Caninglas,
Yes. King the kid, her kitty.
licking her kitty, giving her oral pleasure, indulging in her nectar.
Oh my God. There
Licking
is
her
so
out,
many
muff diving.
languages out there.
Oral sex on a woman, and then tasting her sweetness. Okay, so now I
like
guess
that one.
now we
Tasting
can
her
talk about the
sweetness.
name of mine, since we
Wow, what
talked
is
about
your
Brad
name?
Pitt.
What is yours?
So mine's name is Candy.
Ah!
So
Candy, little candy.
yeah, so I've named mine Candy. I had a
Candy.
different name when I was married, but I retired that name when I got divorced.
I never named mine.
You should name yours. Okay,
No, I have to have a-
everybody,
no,
I want
have
you to
a-
comment
Yes.
and let us know what you think Diva Cats Down Under should be called.
Yes. I'm open to
What her
any
hoo-ha.
suggestion. Yes. I'm a 60 years old woman, been married for 25 years.
And she has an active sex life.
And I never named mine.
Mm-hmm.
I
It's
named
time.
his Brad Pitt, though. I think it's time. Ladies, I need your suggestion.
All right.
Or gentlemen.
Yes, so that we can have him go muff diving into her, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I like that.
I'm telling you, you got to have a name for that.
Huh. Why
got-
didn't I think of that before?
Well, if you're going to name his, you might as well name yours.
Right? Cannot be Jennifer Aniston because they don't last.
Oh my goodness.
God.
So how much oral sex, or how much, now that you've been married, how important is it to your sex life?
It's very important to me.
Very important.
Very important. Because that's how when we started, you gotta lay on the moon, you put on your nice lingerie and then you go, your oral sex. If he uses his mouth, take off your lingerie, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Valentine's coming, lady. You better start shopping.
Yeah. And practicing,
Yes,
men and women.
practicing, yes. Valentine's coming. But to us, every day is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Whatever you're in the mood for, So for the past 25 years, yeah. But the bottom line is to keep healthy marriage is open communication and also actively sex, regardless what kind of sex.
Yeah, and it's important to keep
It's
it clean,
Keep it
smelling
clean,
nice.
And oral is always a starter for us.
Okay, here's another question. Have you given oral sex to a man, had sex with them, and then given them oral sex later? So you're basically tasting yourself.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I have.
You do?
I have, and it's not bad at all, ladies. So I don't know what
Really?
men are complaining about because it tastes pretty damn
It tastes
good.
pretty damn good.
Yeah,
So after you're done and you give oral sex, yeah, you are tasting yourself.
yeah.
Oh, I never.
Because we went for round 2.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. Now, granted, you need to make sure that you don't have any problems down there. You should always go for your annuals, ladies, and get your checkups.
Mine is like, I think my husband need to look at it because after we done, it takes him like the next day or maybe next morning.
Yeah.
To have round 2.
It might be, we'll talk in another episode coming up about testosterone replacement therapy for men and women and hormones and things like that.
Yeah.
That's part of our, our lifestyle and health. I mean, we have to think about our sexual health is just as important as our mental health, our physical health, and our financial health, and our spiritual health. I mean, it's all part
of it. But I think in the household, sexual health is a part of your day life. I think you have healthy sexual life in your household, everything else will follow, I think.
Yeah, I still have the issue that I don't sleep around with men. I have to have some type of major connection with a man before I can't do a one night stand.
One night stand.
Don't do that.
Agree.
And I need to make sure a man's clean.
Yeah.
Let's move on to anal sex, talking about cleanliness. So anal oral. We're not really going to go into anal. So like if you've ever had a guy lick your backside, your peach. Have you ever had that?
No.
I have.
I just think it's gross. Because I always feel like when it comes to anal, that's where you discard Well,
here's the thing. There's butt plugs for that too and things like that. But I had it happen. Not when I was married, but with a guy I dated. And it was actually very pleasurable.
You are with a butt plug?
No, I didn't have a butt plug. But he just went down on my backside. And it was... it wasn't very long, but I was like, wow.
Huh.
I never experienced that before. So it's called anal kissing. I think there's other words for it too, but anal oral.
I have a homework to do today.
Yeah. So, and not everybody does like their butt fondled, if you will.
Yeah. I'm not sure I like that though, but maybe I should try.
It's fun. And if you're clean.
Why not, right?
Yeah. If you're clean down there and also known as ass kisser.
Or
anal lingus.
Lingus.
Yeah. Rimming. It's also known as rimming.
I cannot believe how many languages about all of these.
Apple polisher, back scratcher. Some of these are also for anal sex, though, ladies, too. Boot licker.
Oh, my. Scratch something.
Apple polisher.
Back scratcher.
Teacher's pet.
Oh, my God. How about fawner? What is that?
Do what?
Fawner. Fawner.
Yeah, fawn on, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss ass.
Kiss ass. Well, yeah. Kiss
back scratcher. That's fun. Because a lot of times when they'll kiss your butthole, they will also use their fingers to go around and play. Now, I'm not an anal sex person, but it was kind of interesting that I'd never had that before, and I had it once, and it was actually not bad. I went for it.
Wow.
And the guy was a very adventurous man, and he was much more experienced than I was, obviously. And, yeah, it was
I learned something
interesting.
Now I'm going to have a homework.
It was interesting, yeah. The other thing is I know that a lot of people have been talking about that where they do anal or they do that, and they just want to make sure you're extra clean and haven't eaten recently. And yeah. But, yeah, it was... quite interesting.
Huh.
So, again, you could use the licking tongue with the peach.
That's another emoji type thing.
That's another emoji.
The licking tongue and the peach. Should I put the peach in front of the tongue or the tongue after the peach?
I think it would be tongue and then the peach.
And the peach. Okay.
I guess you could do either. I don't know how many people...
Watch, if I say to my husband, he's going to think like, oh, she want peach. I'm going to go to the grocery store, go buy the peach.
He's going to the grocery store.
He's going to go to the grocery store instead.
Yeah, so I would say that anal kissing is different.
To say knowing you is adventurous.
All right, so 19% of people out there have had anal sex. It's pretty low.
That's very low, I know.
Yeah, that's heterosexual people.
How about anal kissing? Was it?
Anal kissing, I haven't found anything on. Yeah, I haven't found anything on. Maybe there's a stat out there I can find. Anal sexual stimulation, it says 20% of women or men would engage in anal sexual stimulation on a woman.
Oh.
So, it's not a big thing for me. I'm really not into it, but I don't have to have it I need to have oral sex because it's just not a huge turn on, but it was an adventure.
It was adventurous? Was it fun?
It was fun. It was enjoyable. It wasn't not enjoyable. So it was enjoyable.
Hey, maybe you could have both. The best of both
Oh,
worlds.
I don't know if I'll go back out with that guy again. He was a little bit too much for me. So, yeah. But nonetheless, it's something that we, wanted to talk about because there are people that is part of foreplay, just like nipples and other things. So, biting on people's ears and necks and
I never know body part. We have so many square footage to cover.
So, 3 or 4 inches into your anus is another G-spot on men and women.
Oh, wow.
And that's why people will use their finger a lot. Instead of doing anal, because there are a lot of women that have tried anal and gotten seriously injured, right? You said you had a friend that tried anal sex and started bleeding.
Got hurt, yes.
Yeah, got hurt really bad. So, because women are small everywhere, but smaller.
That is true.
So, yeah, there is possibility of that, but fingers less likely.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that we're talking about it all, we might as well.
Now we got to kiss. We have another on the agenda: kissing anal.
Yeah. It's you don't have to try it, and you need to make sure everybody's showered and cleaned, and
the cleanness is
cleanliness is important. Yeah,
we talk about
it's even more important on anal than oral. I'm okay if a guy came in from the gym, but I don't want a guy coming in after
after the bathroom.
Yeah,
Number 2.
no, that's not working.
No, let's not go there.
Okay. Anyway, so oral sex, you need to be careful though, ladies, with STDs.
You also get STD from oral sex.
You can get STD and you can give STDs. Now, there are people that have cold sores. Something like 80 or 90% of the U.S. population have cold sores. Typically, oral herpes. Now, if you have a cold sore and you go down on someone, you got to be careful.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I don't see a lot of people with cold sores anymore. I don't know if the numbers are decreasing or if people just are getting it under control.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. So...
cold sore is a viral, isn't it?
A cold sore is a virus. It does. A lot of people have it when they're younger. They kiss somebody that had a cold sore in their mouth that they didn't realize, and then they get it. And now they have cold sores on the outside of their mouth too. So you have to be careful. I think personally, for me, everybody that you're going to be sexually active with should be tested.
Yeah,
I don't think we should be spreading sexually transmitted diseases. I think at our age, if you're going to be intimate with somebody, I think you should have the mature conversation and say, look, I want to get you tested. If they say, I don't want to get tested, say, look, I'll pay for it. Right. Ladies, pay for it. That way you get the results. Pay for it. Order it online. You can go to different websites. Healthlabs.com is one. There's lots of different online. And they don't even have to go to their doctor.
Yeah.
And you order a full STD panel.
That is true. It's 100% confidential.
It's confidential. And if you order and pay for it, then you can get it emailed to you. And you just have to get their name, their date of birth, and you can order it. And you have them go in and take the test, and then you'll get the results.
Oh, wow.
So as long as they approve of that, because it is a privacy thing, they may want to email you the results directly, however you guys work it out. But there's a ton of different places you can go. And it's not 100% because there's like HPV, I don't believe they test for with a blood test.
Never the blood test.
But most of the sexually transmitted diseases like herpes 1, herpes 2, which are the big ones, hepatitis, HIV, some of the ones that, chlamydia, gonorrhea, all that stuff that you can get orally, ladies. You can get that stuff orally too. You can have gonorrhea of the mouth.
That is so true. But that's go both ways too, though, to the men.
To the men as well, yes. So the men can get it as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good advisable thing for you to go ahead and get tested.
Stay healthy
before you're with a man. Now, I know that some people, they have quick encounters, but then you should be using, you may want to use condoms anyway, just because you may still have pregnancy.
No matter what. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You could here's the thing. You could be pregnant during menopause. Ladies.
Yes. And there are people that are premenopausal and they get pregnant. They've stopped their periods, but they still get pregnant. From the STD standpoint, I really think just to protect yourself, you should get tested. Now, I don't think there's another way. I mean, I've never seen anyone give oral sex with a condom.
I mean, it's so true.
You could, but I don't think it would be as pleasurable. That's the whole point of oral sex. But yeah, there's so many different oral diseases you can get. And yeah, some you can fix with an antibiotic, but you can't fix herpes.
Yeah,
you can't fix
you
HIV.
Can't fix HIV, no.
And even hepatitis. Those are viruses too. So
you could get through oral sex.
And here's
have to be intercourse. You could get all those STD through oral sex.
Exactly, in your mouth.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think a lot of people are nervous about getting tested because they don't realize they don't have to go to their doctor. You could get tested once a month if you wanted to go do blood
Some
work.
of them might take it personal, though.
Well, if they take it personally, they're not a mature adult as far as I'm concerned. If a
That is
man
true.
if a man that wants to be with you is not willing to get tested, that's a red flag that they already have something and they know
They
about
know
it.
about it, yeah. Especially at this age.
At this age, oh my gosh.
This age, nothing to hide. Let it all out on the table.
Yeah, if you're dating someone and they refuse to get tested, there's no reason to go further.
No. If they refuse, that's just a red flag right there.
Huge red flag.
Yeah, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Like I said, at this age, lay it all out on the table. There's nothing to hide.
There's nothing to hide. And it makes sense at our age to ask a man if they've had a sexual transmitted disease in the past.
Yeah.
Now, there are people out there that have had HIV. And what do you do then? Well, you're probably not going to give oral sex to somebody that has HIV.
No.
Yeah. You're probably also not going to give oral sex to someone that has herpes.
There's so many things to be careful out
Well,
there.
okay, let me rephrase that. Because
Yeah.
90% of the population has HSV1, I think that's what it's called, whereas which is cold sores. But herpes 2, you're not going to go down on a guy that's got herpes 2 because you can going down on a guy with herpes 2, you can get herpes 2 in your mouth.
Oh.
So, or chlamydia or gonorrhea.
Yes.
And here's the thing. A lot of men aren't going to the doctor very often, ladies, so they don't go for annuals like we do.
No.
So they may not even know, and they could be a carrier. They could be a carrier of hepatitis.
Yes. That is, I had to say, us women see our doctor regularly, but men don't.
They don't. The fact that you can do this for your partner and say, look, I just want to get you tested.
And I think that's very, very important. And that's very caring to me. If the other side take it personal, that means something going on. That's a red flag.
It is a red flag. Yeah. So you need to take care of your health. And just like sex is important for health, having good, safe, and non-diseased sex is important for your health as well. Yeah. And I say how often to test. I think you should test whenever you switch partners.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if you're going to have a new partner, you should be getting tested before you're with the new partner. So if you're leaving one partner, going to the next one, and then you can provide that test results to your partner.
Yeah, that way you could pinpoint where you get this from.
Yeah, I don't think most people are concerned about HSV1 because I think a lot of people will show positive on that, about 80, 90%. But anything else, if it's, chlamydia, gonorrhea, those are antibiotic type of things that you can go and get those fixed. And then always retest before you have sex, oral or intercourse.
There is so much work for women these days.
There is a lot of work.
A lot of work.
But you know what? If people started doing it this way, there would be a lot less STDs. And then eventually they'd go away, kind of like some other viruses.
Some other virus. Yeah, it's so true. It just had to prevent it.
And hepatitis is not only spread through, it's just bodily fluids. It can be spread from other ways too. So they could have gotten hepatitis sometimes at a restaurant. So
some people is a carrier for hepatitis.
Yeah, so you don't even know. And if you're here's the thing, honestly, if you're at the stage where oral sex tends to happen before intercourse, and people forget about getting tested before oral sex.
Oral sex, yes.
If you're at the point where you're making out with a guy, you need to go get tested because you could potentially, if they have HSV1 and you don't, you could also give somebody herpes 1 and now they have cold sores. That's how it's spread.
Yeah.
That's why so many people in the world have cold sores.
There's mono, that disease.
Mono, yeah. If you have mono is, where you get really tired. I had that when I was younger, mono.
Kissing disease.
The kissing disease where you catch it and you're like knocked out for a couple weeks and you're tired. That was rough. But, Epstein-Barr, you've got all these different viruses and things that can be transmitted via kissing, that it would be best that you at least know you're clean. And then just before you start getting intimate, if you want, I would recommend even before you start kissing the person.
I would.
If you've gone on a date and you haven't kissed a person and you look like you think they might be a really good fit, just have the adult conversation. It's a conversation that you should be having anyway.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't know. First date, you should not be kissed in the mouth yet. I think, not judging, but before you part, you have to give a hug, a kiss, something.
Well, you don't have to give French kissing. Maybe you give a kiss on the cheek or a peck or something. But definitely a hug if you're interested in the person. I don't know of anything else to do besides
You
testing.
just have to get tested.
Yeah.
I think, you have to be all open and get tested.
Be
And
all
you-
open,
yeah.
get tested, be
And you
honest
need-
with the other person.
You need to be able to be honest with your partner.
It all goes back to communication again. And honestly, I think that if someone's our age, I think they should be open to getting a test. And if they don't have any money, ladies, and you're going to be with this guy, maybe you shouldn't be with him if they don't have any money anyway. But
You don't. I'm not saying that you should stop, but if they don't have any money, maybe you should not.
you might be supporting their butt. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, always get tested before. And I think that if they realize they don't have to go talk to their doctor to get tested. Now, if you find out that they have something, you should always let them know and say, hey, you need to go take care of this. And then
Yes.
always retest.
I would.
It's important, right?
Yeah, I would. There's so many craziness out there. This is the last thing you want to be less
This
worried
is the last
about.
thing. Mhm.
That's the last thing you want to, get
Mhm.
exposed to. I would definitely highly recommend it.
Yes. So next time on the show, we're going to talk about hormones.
Oh, hormones are a big part of
Hormones
our
are a big part of sex. They're a big part of life. They're a big part
big part of everything.
And at our age, hormones become bigger than they used to be for men
Everything.
and women.
There is.
Testosterone's big for men and women. People don't realize that. So next show, we're going to dive deep into menopause and hormones and all that
All of that. Yes.
comes into play.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So you have a wonderful week and we'll talk soon. This is Kat and Mia signing off.
There it is. Signing off now. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.